Alright guys, so I want to react to this TikTok that I found to be fascinating, okay? And it involves a transgender woman who is upset because a bank teller, or I'm assuming that this is a bank teller, an employee at the bank misgendered this person, okay? They were misgendered and they are upset and they're going to the internet to air out their complaints about how this bank teller misgendered this person and why this is such a bad thing. And you know, you guys understand exactly kind of how this goes. Now I want to respond to this, but of course I got to get a disclaimer that I always give when I make these type of videos, is that my commentary has nothing to do with this individual as a person as much as just responding to the situation, okay, and the conversation itself. But again, this is not a personal attack, has nothing to do with this individual whatsoever. It's simply discussing the subject, right? And the fact that, you know, hey, people get upset about being misgendered in public, okay? So without further ado, I want to go ahead and play this clip.
Just because I had just a bit of a jarring experience here. I went into the bank. I was trying to change my name on my account, which apparently I can't do because my ex and I still have a joint account, so my ex needs to be present.
Yeah, that's the first mistake that you made, right? Working in the financial services industry, joint accounts are terrible, okay? In fact, I would recommend nobody ever get a joint account, right? Even if you're married. I don't think joint accounts are a good idea for various reasons, especially when you get divorced, because it's going to be a pain in the ass to get that money out of the joint account, especially when you're arguing over money, because banks aren't just going to allow you to unilaterally take the money out of the account and put it into just your name, because technically that is change of ownership, right? That means that you would be changing the ownership of assets, because in joint accounts, the assets are owned equally, right? So both parties are entitled to the assets. So in order for you to actually remove money from the joint account, if it's actually your money, let's say you contributed most of the money, once you put that money in the joint account, nope, it belongs to your spouse equally. So if you try to take it out and your spouse says no, you're not going to be able to do it. Okay, so again, wouldn't recommend joint accounts. Okay, that's a big mistake. Okay, I would recommend just keeping a separate account. If you do have a joint account, hey, you know, make sure you put money in there equally and it's with somebody that you're going to be with for the rest of your life. Okay, because again, they're a pain in the butt to deal with. Okay, especially when you break up. Okay, it sounds like this person was not married and they had a joint account with somebody, which is a huge mistake. Huge mistake.
So I can change my name and it reflects on both accounts. Regardless of that, the girl who was doing it had a question, and she calls her coworker over like, well, he's trying to change his name on his account. And I'm like, she kind of like looks at me a little bit and is like, oh, I'm sorry. And just like writes it off. But like, I'm just like, you read both names. Like, she had both my IDs and my legal name change paperwork in front of her. So, you know what my name's going to. Number two.
But that doesn't necessarily mean that this person is aware that you're trans, right? Just because you're changing your name, that doesn't automatically mean that, you know, you're trans, right? That doesn't mean that that person knows that, oh, okay, well, this person's changing their name, so therefore they must be trans, therefore they must go by these pronouns. That's not how it works, right? There are plenty of people that change their names that are not trans, okay, for various reasons. So a name change in and of itself does not mean that the employee is going to instantly be able to recognize that, hey, this person's trans, that this person's, you know, identifies as a woman or a female, whatever. They don't know that automatically. And again, that's the reason why, you know, I like to make these videos, is because I want trans people to be aware that everybody is not aware or educated on your transformation, on what you're doing in your personal life. Everybody's not up to date on the latest wokeism, right? So it's like, give some benefit of the doubt, like give some grace, right? You want grace extended to you. You want people to be able to understand your lifestyle. Then you need to be able to understand other people when they don't necessarily understand your lifestyle, or they may not necessarily be fully aware or knowledgeable of your situation. But that doesn't seem to happen too much, right? Doesn't seem to happen too much.
Well, I look and sound like this. I know I'm 6 feet tall, but girl, come on. I'm wearing a dress. I am wearing a dress. I am wearing makeup. I'm wearing eyeliner and eyeshadow and everything. Like, what do I have to fucking do? What do I have to do to, like, just get gendered correctly once while I'm out? Like, I know it's happened before, but, like, when I'm doing something like official like this, it's been so annoying that, like, it's just like, oh, well, he needs this and his and him and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, are you kidding me? You use your eyes. Use your eyes. This isn't rocket science. Like, it's very clear that if you aren't sure, here's a tip. You aren't sure, ask. Ask what my pronouns are.
Yeah, but see, here's the thing. This lady, the bank teller, probably did not think that you were trans, because there are people who are not trans that, you know, don't dress according to gender norms. Like, there are people who are not trans that are just cross-dressers, okay? Or maybe, you know, they're gay, okay, and they like to wear a dress or whatever. Like, there are people who don't adhere to gender norms when it comes to dress, who don't identify as trans. And that's what really blows my mind. It's like, why isn't it that when trans people get offended by being misgendered, why don't they just consider the fact that, hey, maybe this person doesn't think that I'm trans. Maybe this person actually, you know, could be, you know, thinking about the possibility of me not being trans, like of me just being somebody that cross-dresses, okay, and doesn't adhere to gender norms, but is still not trans, right? Because, again, we all recognize, okay, that there's all these different identities and lifestyles and different ways of living, right? If that's the case, which is what, you know, these people say, like, hey, look, there's all different types of lifestyles and stuff across the spectrum that people should acknowledge and respect. So with that being said, why is it that when trans people get misgendered, that they don't respect the fact that maybe, just maybe, the person that misgendered them is considering that maybe this person is not trans. Maybe this person is just a non-trans person that cross-dresses, right? Why are you not considerate of the possibility that maybe, just maybe, it's impossible for this person to know? And they're just going to go off of what they see and their best guess, because it is not normal for society to ask people what their pronouns are, okay? This is not something that society has been used to or accustomed to doing. So you can't just expect people to automatically look at you and say, oh, well, this person looks like, you know, a dude in a dress, therefore, you know, I'm supposed to just assume that they're trans. When, again, it can be the case of somebody that's not trans that, again, is cross-dressing, or that, you know, they're gay or whatever, right? That those could also be possibilities, right? It's not that the only possibility could be, well, you're trans and therefore they should know that you're trans and they should know what pronouns you use or whatever. No, right? That's not how things work, okay? Again, that's what really blows my mind about these people that get so upset about this stuff. It's almost as if they're just as intolerant as the people that they claim are intolerant, right? If you want people to be tolerant of your lifestyle, then you should be tolerant of the fact that people are going to be ignorant of your lifestyle, right? Or that they're going to be unaware of your lifestyle and what you prefer to be called. All you got to do is say, hey, this is what I prefer to be called, okay? And that's it. Right? And if they refuse to use your preferred pronouns or whatever, then, hey, you just got to deal with it. Because at the end of the day, people shouldn't be forced to go along with something that they just personally really don't believe in. Right? And there are people who are going to use your preferred pronouns. And the people that use your preferred pronouns, be happy that they use your preferred pronouns and live your life, right? But I feel like these people who basically, get offended from, the fact that people are unaware of their lifestyle, again, you're making your life a lot more harder than it actually is, right? I think that's where a lot of the so-called hate and bigotry comes from, that a lot of these people complain about. Oh, well, there's so much hate and bigotry. And it's like, no, you are actually bringing the stress that you're feeling on yourself because you're getting upset and hurt by every little microaggression that really has nothing to do with hate and bigotry, and it has more so to do with the fact that a person's just simply not knowledgeable of your lifestyle. Okay, they're not knowledgeable of the fact that, hey, these are, your preferred pronouns. Okay, I'm just saying, if you had a little bit more grace and understanding, which is the same thing that, you're asking other people to, give, then maybe, just maybe, life wouldn't be so tough, right? Maybe, just maybe, you would be happier, and that, maybe, just maybe, people would use your preferred pronoun more, right? If you actually were, graceful about it, and, nice, and, just, understanding of the fact that everybody's not gonna know immediately, right? But again, what we see here is that there's a trend of people who go online and they want to shame people for misgendering them because they know that they're going to get misgendered in public, right? Like, they'll go out to a restaurant, record themselves eating just so that they can catch the waiter misgendering them because, again, they know they're going to get misgendered. And then they want to turn around and boo-hoo whine and complain about something that they know was going to happen. And then they try to embarrass the waiter. They go to the waiter's boss, try to get them fired, try to ruin their lives over the fact that the person just didn't know, right? So again, my recommendation is, if you want the rest of society to be understanding, okay, then you have to be understanding, okay? You only can get what you get, right? If you start giving more, okay, then you'll get more. It's really that simple. Right? That's my advice. But let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.